After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 467. Today is Saturday, August 21st, 2021, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And my name is Talia. I'm also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us. We hope you find something you enjoy and that you keep coming back. And if you are returning, we always love to see you back. If you are new or returning and you have not yet joined us officially, please feel free to hit the little subscribe button on your right. I believe it's a red button, and the little bell that you get notifications so you don't miss anything. And also maybe consider joining us at our PHN homepage, which is where all the alongs, a lot of the camaraderie and stuff is going on there. And that's at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's in the little description box below. Okay? All right, so what you have 11, so.
Yes. So, I'm using a different mug this time. This one unintentionally ends up being funny because, for whatever reason, they decided to separate the two parts of the it's not a phrase, because the two sentences, the saying, the quote. Yeah. Unfortunately, the side that faces everyone else says, not all of us can do great things, which sounds really depressing. But the side facing me says, but we can do small things with great love. And that's a Mother Teresa quote. So I would have put that differently. I would have tried to put everything together so it doesn't just sound like I'm being like this pessimistic person.
But I'll show you why that mug works just fine for me after she's done.
And I'm drinking a Plum Deluxe tea. Now, this is not in a Plum Deluxe container. I snagged this and moved the tea into here and put the labels on here. So this is Plum Deluxe tea, Cuddle Time Herbal Tea. Cozy up with this relaxing sleepy tea. Pairs of pajamas and midnight snacks. It doesn't make me sleepy. I just find it sweet. So it's got chamomile, Rubio's tea, peppermint, leaves, vanilla, essence, love, and gratitude. No caffeine.
We have to pick some of that up.
This is I'll let you taste it. This is my favorite of their chamomiles. I have multiple chamomiles of theirs, but this is the one I always go back to. I think this is the peppermint and vanilla.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I would like that.
Also, chamomile is always good anyway. Here, have to taste.
Now you'll see, because I'm a lefty, the good part of the quote here shows. And I'm a lefty only when I eat and drink.
Yeah, only for certain things.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good.
Isn't that a good tea?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Do you have sugar in here?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I always put sugar in my tea, but this one could probably be one of the ones I could, if I needed to, drink without.
Or at least cut back.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and switched my mugs today too. This is the mug that Crystal from Chronically Crocheting gave me. And yes, Crystal, I saw your last podcast or listened to it. Well, I'm not sure it's the last one. She can be prolific sometimes when she feels up to it. Mm-hmm. But I saw the one where you were showing off the toys that you made. I like your unicorn. It's adorable. This is Chronically Crocheting, and if you don't watch her, you should check her out. She gave this to me along with a bag a while back, and it says, Yarny friends make the best friends. And this is her podcast mug, so yeah, I was really surprised and happy to get this. And in this mug is my Plum Deluxe tea. This is buttery shortbread herbal tea. Treat yourself with a delicious cuppa. Honeybush tea, cocoa peel, blackberry leaves, flavor essences, love, gratitude, no caffeine. I probably could have used the caffeine, but this is what I wanted. So, do you want some of this, Ty?
Is that, which one again?
Buttery shortbread.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure it wasn't the one I had an issue with the one time.
This
I don't know where you want this.
Oh, and I'm having a Stroop waffle. I'm having a lemon one this time. So
That's what I have too, I think.
lemon.
This is good. I like mine better. It is good, though.
I love this. I like yours too, but I love this. And that one could put me to sleep, I think. But
Maybe pick up some of them on those times you're having trouble falling asleep. Although all you really need for that is apple cider.
I have apple cider with a little bit, and this is in the fall when I can get it. And I have a good supply of the Red Hots now. What I do is I get apple cider, and my friend taught me this when we were in England. And her husband and my husband were both stationed overseas. And so she taught me about putting Red Hots in an apple cider, true apple cider, not apple juice, apple cider.
And it's hot apple cider.
So it's hot apple cider. So I guess it's kind of like a mulled apple cider. I guess.
Although there are actually mold.
There are
because I have some from.
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't know what to do with them.
I'm just thinking that maybe it was a poor man's way, or if you will, to do it. But anyway, she gave it to me while we were making costumes for the kids for Halloween one year, and the first year we were in England, and we were drinking that, and I said, Crystal, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drive. I'm so tired, so I realized that I can drink a cup of that and I'm out like that. I'll be watching TV.
It doesn't matter what time of day either. We found out.
It just puts me right out. So I guess if you're like me and you need something to help you sleep, you might want to try apple cider, hot apple cider with Red Hots.
Doesn't seem to affect Davina.
No, but it does.
But also, she's got an ADHD brain, which does work differently. Where caffeine has the opposite effect. So I'm wondering if things that would make you sleepy might
not do anything.
Not do anything for her.
It puts me out like a light. I would sit there with my husband. I got to the point where I wouldn't watch. If I was going to watch like Perry Mason or something with my husband, I wanted to actually see it and see it to the end. I couldn't have apple cider because it knocked me out. But anyway.
The only thing I can say consistently affects me food-wise if I eat anything heavy enough that it starts diverting the blood flow to my brain. And then...
Okay, so I know, yes... We do have the national park teas to still do. We have to find some time to do it.
There's been rain and thunderstorms over here, like basically nonstop. It feels like the whole month. So this hasn't been a great month for like focusing.
Yet we still are on, or were on rationing for water for a while. I looked at the creek the other day. Well, it must have been about a week and a half ago, and it was very low. But now with all this rain, it's probably better.
Well, I know that. I was talking to one of my Instagram friends who has my same conditions, and she was saying that where she's at in California, they are, and I think she was visiting her parents in like Oregon or something. She said those two areas both, they really need the water, but they can't have like a thunderstorm with like lightning and everything because they'll get fires.
Fires, yeah. Yep. Okay, let's see. I guess we go into our alongs here. And we are still collecting for Pregnancy Center if you feel called to do that. That would be great. And also for Evan's home if you feel called to do that. And I know that, I think Brittany is accepting through the end of September. Isn't that right? Or is it the beginning of September? I don't know. Brittany, you can tell us in the comments so we know what's going on. Her comforting
I'm
crafts.
sure it says in the thread.
Right, you can look at the thread. Okay. The first along we're going to talk about is the PHN Christmas All Year Long Cal Cal Lao, and this along runs from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. That's midnight Eastern Standard Time, okay? Projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted, and previous WIPs are allowed but must be worked on during the along. You get plenty of time, so no excuse not to work on it and put it in there if you want to put it in there.
Yeah.
Chatter and pictures will all be in the same thread. One WIP, that's a work in progress, per project per week, plus the FO whenever it's finished. A PhD does not count as an FO unless it's a shop sample or something that you're only doing one of, maybe a test knit or whatever.
Right, and you wouldn't be like, oh no, I only knit one Christmas stocking.
No,
darn it.
Christmas stockings are only meant to be one.
Yeah. Unless you are making a matching set, but even
right,
then
that
would still be two.
That's a second one, yeah. And for those of you who are more familiar with the other term, D is project half done. Okay, so that would be like one of a pair of socks or something. Okay.
I was going to say something. Oh, you said no excuse for not putting in the group. One, I could think of excuse. I'm not saying it's a good one, but it would be like, taking pictures. The lighting's not right.
Well, no, my point is not the taking pictures. My point is no sense. There's every opportunity to put it in.
I know, but
You're being an oboe head, and I don't have my oboe head.
You said no excuses, and I just started immediately thinking of like
this is what I have to put up with.
Excuses.
This is what I have to put up with day in and day out.
Mom, it was kind of funny. I think I just finished reading an Agatha Christie with Ariadne Oliver in it.
Oh, I love her.
And she was involved. She was one of the people who found the body. So they asked her, basically, what she thought, and she gave them like rapid fire all these possible things that could have happened.
She always does that.
And it like confused the poor inspector so badly. He didn't know which way was up by the time she left.
Get her Kill Poirot in there. He'll deal with it. She just, I love Ariadne.
Oh, she is amazing.
I can't say her name, but I love her.
It's Ariadne, but it was funny because when Miss Lemon picked up the phone, she didn't know the first name, and she said, Air Raid? And she had to repeat it for her. Yes, my name is Air Raid. My parents were weird.
I think the girl who played opposite of, what's his name? DiCaprio in, I can't remember the name of the movie either. It was one of those, like, really strange kind of, I can't remember what it's called.
Was it the one?
Inception.
Oh, okay.
Inception.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Mm-hmm.
She was a girl who played Shadowcat in X-Men.
Okay, cool. Random, not at all connected, but cool.
No. But I'm getting there. Her name in the show was Ariadne.
Huh.
It's the only other time I ever heard it.
Yeah, I think it's like, is it Greek or something?
I think it's
Greek.
Irish.
You think so?
Maybe? I don't know.
Because they never mention what her background is. And because she's Mrs. Oliver, you know she was married at one point. She must be a widow because you never hear about Mr. Oliver.
Mr. Oliver probably died of confusion.
I don't know what happened.
Too many apples.
She was practicing a plot on him, and it was accidental death.
Okay, well, let me get on here.
Manslaughter.
Apparently, we're going to be rambly today, so we do apologize.
Oh, Ariadne. Yes,
is Ariadne. Okay, so this is us. Okay, for those of you who've been with us,
This Is Us is a TV show.
This is us. As people who have been with us for a while are well aware. Okay. All right. You pick 1 week per project per week. The FO whenever it's finished. We do have prizes, and this along we have quarterly prizes because it goes all year. We have featured patterns and featured yarns. And they basically remain the same throughout all of our alongs with some tweaking. For this one, any FOs in Franciscan Gypsies Designs, Lady Fernicle Creations yarns, or My One Shawl pattern, or Lollipop Girl yarns, or Laura Concert Designs, that's the same person, her patterns, will be eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the finished object only as long as it meets the requirements of the along. And if you use a featured yarn, mine or Laura's, with a featured pattern, mine or Laura's or Taya's, for the FO you'll get 3 chances at a prize if you do the multiple postings yourself. Okay, the hashtag is PHN Christmas All Year 2021 on Instagram. All right, if an FO uses 50 yards or less, please post with another FO of 50 yards or more. You guys have been fabulous about that. Thank you for remembering. It takes a lot of work for us and or Rena or one of the other moderators to do that. Okay, so we appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Operation Christmas Child is another featured way of giving Christmas, that kind of stuff. That's acceptable if you're doing things for Operation Christmas Child. And until Brittany's no longer accepting things, that will also be, and of course our pregnancy center. Okay.
Before you go on to the next along,
I'm not going on to the next along. Projects that are made predominantly in the Christmas colors of shades of red, blue, green, silver, gold, purple, and pink, along with white, will be eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the FO only. This is so that our family, a PHN family
The family
don't celebrate.
No, the family doesn't.
family doesn't. Okay.
But if you're talking about those in the family
That's
who
what I
do,
said.
the
That's what I was trying to
family
say.
doesn't. So it depends on which one you're saying.
Those in the family who don't.
Okay, don't.
Celebrate Christmas, we wanted to make sure they could do this. So we have these colors that they can use for their FOs and they can participate.
That was really confusing as a kid. You know, when you were trying to get the grasp of it the first time, because
What are you talking about?
trying to remember those who do.
Oh, right.
versus
Right,
the group.
Right. And the prizes this time, we have 2 skeins of Bravo worsted in an avocado color, which is really pretty for one winner, and then a skein of Death by Pumpkin Spice. I think it's a sock yarn, and a small blue bag for another winner. Okay.
The thing I wanted to mention before the next along was the fact that I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but Pat has put up in PHN a thing about how she journals. If you want to share how you journal or just want to see how she does her journaling, go ahead and check it out. She probably put it in general. Like I said, I haven't been able
It is in general.
Is it in general? Okay, I just haven't been able to check it out.
It's really cool.
So, I highly recommend because I'm sure it's fascinating and I do want to check it out.
And if you make journals, I'd like to see how you make them, because that's
Yes.
something I've been interested in.
Consider that just the journal area for if you make journals, if you just want to show how you journal, if you just want to like share ideas of where to get journaling supplies.
Right, ephemera or whatever.
Yeah, that's just journal land.
Yes, because apparently we like journaling.
Oh, I'm not a journaler. Really.
I love journaling.
I am this is what was done. It's like boring, it's blah, and it's matter of fact.
Well, Pat said she does bullet journals, but she evolved a little bit, because I was looking at her stuff. If you put things on there, don't put anything that you don't want to be on the internet.
Yeah.
Because it is a locked place, but it is the internet. So if you want to put something to show us what you're doing, make sure you're okay with that being on the internet, okay?
Right.
Want to protect your privacy. Okay. Now, in that public service announcement, we'll move along, okay? The second along that we're doing is the Cardiac Dysautonomia Cal-Cal-Lao 2021. And this runs from July 1st through September 30th, midnight Eastern Standard Time, okay? WIPs and FOs will be eligible for prizes for this. And the same basic rules apply, but the tag is for Instagram is hashtag PHNCDA2021 on Instagram, okay? Projects cannot be finished prior to July 1st. And I don't know why I put that there, because that's for everything. If you finish something, it's not, finish it before the along starts, it's not eligible, okay?
No,
I think someone had trouble one time and I put that in.
oh, then maybe you got confused.
Yeah. I mean, it was a different along, somebody else's along.
Yeah.
Projects for this along, this is where it differs a little bit. Although, because of the colors, you can put them in the other along as well, Christmas.
Yeah.
Projects for the cardiac have to be red or some shade of red, including shades of pink.
Yeah, because it's not just cardiac.
Right. Shades of blue or shades of teal to be eligible for prizes. And that's the majority of the project has to be that color, okay? If it's not the majority, then it'll be moved to show off or something else. Let's see, the teal, and I made this caveat earlier. If it says teal on the ball band and is more green than blue, we'll accept it. Just put the ball band in there saying it's teal, because green is not a color that we're doing for this along. But if it says teal on the band, we'll accept it.
We're accepting things that could be oxygenated or deoxygenated blood.
Okay, yes. All right, so that's that. And then, again, the featured patterns and featured yarns are the same. My stuff, Talia's stuff, and Laura's stuff, okay? It just has to be using that color. Okay, the pinks, not the pinks, pinks, reds, blues,
reds,
and teals, okay? Majority of those colors. Let's see. So the same rules apply for the multiple postings. And we do have prizes. I don't have those listed, so I can't tell you what they are right now. And the last one is Tortoise versus Hare 2021. And that's not ours. That's Laura's, Laura Concert. And we love doing this with her every year. And we are going from, let's see, this is July, August, September. Yeah. Yes. July through September. So we have one more month, a little more than a month for this. No, is that right? This is August, isn't it?
It is August.
Yes, we have one more month, a little over a month. And this
Yeah, because we don't start the Christmas one until after September. We start in
it's October, yeah. So, and not Christmas, the toys.
That's what I meant. I called it Christmas because it's always around Christmas, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Now, for this one, because we have 2 people, if you want to post in both places, you need to be a member of both groups, okay?
And by 2 people, she means 2 different hosts.
Right.
Not like the 2 of us. We
No.
count as one host.
No. Now, the projects must be worked on between July 1st and September 1st, and they can be started before then, but it doesn't matter as long as you work on it and or finish it, okay? The same rules.
Well, if you finished it, you worked on it.
I said yes, but I said worked on it first and then finished. So you're lucky that you're lucky that you're
I should
so
have brought
fragile.
like my new bunny over here, the black one that's too fancy. You wouldn't smack that bunny.
I'll make him smack you. All right. Because these are hers, but even though we have the rules that are ours, I'm going to go through this a little more carefully. The projects can be whips, okay? And they're not required to be finished, just worked on. They must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted for our group. I think she might be accepting other things. You have to look in her group to see. And they must reflect the theme. Tortoise versus hare, tortoise and hare, tortoise or hare, okay, type of thing. Okay, bunnies and turtles, okay? All whips will be eligible for prizes, 1 whip per project per week. On Instagram, use the hashtag tortoise versus hare 2021, and that's tortoise vs hare 2021, okay? Featured patterns are all Taya's patterns and Laura's patterns that deal with tortoise or hare, whether they're toys or color work or whatever it is. So that book that Taya has, if you have that book, if you have her patterns, those are eligible, whatever they are. Okay.
Right, and the book is available on Etsy and on Amazon.
Right. Now, Laura and Taya, Laura has a Birtle pattern. I don't know if it's available for everybody. I don't know if she actually put it up or not.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing it go up, but not the most up to date and keep track of people's shops.
But anyway, she does have at least one colorway that reflects tortoise, and I have colorways that reflect tortoise and hare. So if you use those, they're acceptable. And if you use featured patterns or featured yarns, as always, 3 chances at a prize. You are responsible for your own multiple postings. And if you want to know Laura's rules more specifically, and where to post for her, we have a thread in the group that says I think it's called Laura Concert.
It's sticky.
It's sticky. It's for her. You'll know it when you see it. Okay. All right. So that takes care of that. Oh, and
it probably says crocheting Hoovian.
Yeah, it might. It might.
Places to crocheting Hoovian alongs.
Right. Something like that. I do want to remind you so you guys can start getting ready, even though it's early. Just thinking about. Next year is going to be, when we start on January 1st, our year long is going to be tea and tails again.
Yep.
Okay? So start thinking about your tea and tail related projects and colors.
As long as you can make a case for it.
We'll accept it.
Yep.
Okay.
Part of the fun is making the case.
And the next along in this year, the last one for us is Toy Along.
Mm-hmm. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. There's no way to fake it for that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I somehow magically got 11 projects, and I don't know how that happened.
Magic.
I must have only worked on a couple of them, like a smidge.
Yeah.
And
I think that's how I got as many as I got, too. It's just like, oh, I worked on this sometime.
Because I felt like I primarily worked on, like, 4 projects. Mm. So when I started adding up and I had 11, I'm like, when did this happen?
Excuse me.
Okay, so I know I said I would have this done. You okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm just choking to death.
All right, well, if that's all. And I only had to go twice.
Twice.
So, in my Silver Shed USA Peanuts Christmas bag, I brought a shawl for you to use.
Yeah, I know.
Did you lose it?
No, it's here.
Oh, okay.
It's too heavy right now.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure you didn't lose my shawl.
No, it's right here. I put it there so I wouldn't get tea on it when I brought it in.
But, yeah, so this is my Peanuts Christmas bag by Silver Shed USA. It's my Christmas stocking bag. And I am finally at the toe for Davina's Christmas stocking pattern, and then I'll do the heel. And, yeah, then I'll finally be able to put into testing.
Awesome.
I could have gotten this done this week if, I focused primarily... Well, if I had focused primarily on this. Thing is, One of the times I worked on it, I found where I had actually dropped the stitch and it laddered a little bit. I was able to fix it, but I was like, I'm not going to work on this when I can't when I'm tired and will miss things, because if you do that too often, color can get really tight. If you just choose to drop down instead of take back. Yeah. So I decided that I was going to only work on this when I had the brain power to. Next, per my notes, let me bring up my notes. Come on, notes. Sorry, my notes are taking their time. Because I like to do them in order, so I make sure I get them all.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Okay. Okay, so in my... This one. Oh, I'm trying to remember if they have it on this. I think it's on the inside. Emma got me this bag. This
she was really happy that we were using it.
Oh, yeah, I just had to get the right project for it. So it is the, I think it's Craftsy Clegs.
She said it's a British, she has a British maker.
Okay, I see. And adorable little
Fabric.
bunnies.
Yeah.
These little things keep running away. I think I finally secured them so they won't escape.
What do you mean keep running away?
I think that the knots that originally were here weren't very... They were like right at the end, and they came loose. So there was a couple... I lost one of these on each end.
Oh, no.
And I found them again, and I did my own knots to put it in there. So hopefully now they'll stay. Yes, it's not... It doesn't add anything to functionality, but it's cute. So...
And it's a novel idea. I haven't seen anybody do that.
Yeah. There might be a reason because they ran away.
Well, maybe if you did like a drumstick where you tie it around the bottom of the... So you have this, right? There's no hole there. If you make it a little longer and you tie it, with...
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think the problem with that would get pulled out. It's not. There's nothing to keep it secure.
Not if you do something like you do with your rosaries.
Possibly.
I think there's a way. You just have to figure it out.
Yeah. So these are my crunkled owl socks. And the pattern is the Crinkle Socks pattern by K.F. Jones of Baker Bear's fame. I'm using West Yorkshire spinners in the owl colorway. I'm focusing a lot more on socks, especially right now, because my bunny slippers, for the little amount of time I've worn them, one layer is already worn through where I have a hole. I think when you think about crochet is not as stable, and if you're constantly putting pressure on it by stepping, and it's just not going to hold up as well. And I know it's only a matter of time before my other layer goes. So if I focus on the knit socks instead, it's easier to darn the knitting than the crochet. And if I have a mixture of lightweight and heavier weight socks, I can switch out. And that's just going to have to be my slippery type thing. There'll be house socks, slipper socks.
But you have to be careful because you keep it slippery. I mean, literally slippery.
Well, I can still put, like, these have the things on the bottom. I'll pick and choose which socks get to have things on the bottom.
I was wearing my Dance All Night, the first pair you got me to, made me, so after I walked and took a shower, because I want to put another clean pair of socks, I just use my knit socks. They're comfortable.
So here's the crunkled. And this is the owl colorway by West Yorkshire Spinners.
Very pretty.
I'm sure this one has heels and toes with it. I just can't remember what the color was. I'm sure it was, I feel like it was the dark color.
Could be, well, yeah. The brown, this one here?
No, like it's like a blacky brown, like the, I guess there's multiple dark colors.
Yeah.
With my sunglasses, they look the same. There's actually quite a bit to choose from here. Yeah, I can't remember what the heels and toes option was for it, because they provide a heels and toes option for each one of their birds. And eventually, I do want to have, I'd like to have socks for each of the birds. Like as a kind of like, oh, little gift. And I can get multiple socks out of this. I'm quite certain. Save the skein.
I wish I liked working with this more. It's not, okay, again, West Yorkshire Spinners is fabulous. Everything we've done with them has been really good. I just don't like non-superwash, because I would love to make a York out of this.
Right, which is the original, what the original York was made out of. I mean, I guess if you conditioned it, use conditioner ahead of time, and pre-washed it.
I guess. The thing is, you run the risk of felting it then.
You do run the risk of felting it. I mean, you'd have to, like you do anything else that you block. You're not doing hot water. And you don't rub it. You just, pat it. But, yeah. I'm almost at the point where I'm going to start thinking of doing the heel flap. Because...
Very nice.
Yeah. For the fingering weight ones, I don't necessarily want a super long leg. That's what my other socks are for. Your turn.
Okay, in my Cloverbird pink and purple teacups bag is my Comfy Cozy Shawl project from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Sattel. Where's my hook? There it is. Okay. So I've made a little progress on this. Not a whole lot. I think I worked on it basically during the podcast. Because I wanted to work on something else. So, fickle that way. Let's see here.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yes. So you can see it's getting bigger slowly. And the only reason it's getting bigger slowly is because I'm not working on it. That's kind of funny how that works, but there you are.
It's shocking.
So, and this is mostly Miss Babs. Actually, I think this is all Miss Babs. Yowza, which is a DK weight. I really would like to have this shawl by September in case I go on retreat. But we will see if that happens because I'm not really rushing it.
Excuse me, sir.
I could finish it by then. I mean, I could do this project, in a couple weeks if I focused on it. But
it is a matter of deciding focus.
Yeah, if I do that, I won't have anything to show to anybody. So, so it takes care of that.
Well, you'll have stuff to show. It's just going to be all the progress on one project.
Well, that would be it. It'd be boring.
I know I've done that in the past.
Yeah, I've done it once or twice, I think.
Usually when I'm, really close to finishing something and I have a deadline in mind, like when I was trying to finish the Dobbin Wood in time to go to surgery.
Usually, I don't think I've ever done just one. I think I've done a couple at some time where I was trying to finish a gift or something.
Well, I think I had a small project option I was working on too, but it was basically the Dobbin Wood was the main thing.
Right. You're next.
Yes, I am. So, the next one is... okay, so actually I'm going to show that one last because I did a lot of work on that one.
Okay.
So apparently I'm not doing this in order.
Well, just,
In my Silver Shed USA Bat Signal bag is the Puget Sound. This is the Fundamental Men's Pullover by Jen Hagen. So my dad's sweater's coming along slowly but surely.
It's looking really nice.
The back has been done forever. Showing a slight wrinkle because it's been smushed in the bag.
It'll block out.
Yeah, I'll block out. Not worried about a little wrinkle in the knit fabric. Not this time. So when I did it this way, I was like, oh, closer than I thought. No, it's not. I have quite a bit to go.
Miles and miles of stuck in that before you sleep.
I usually work a row or two at a time, unless I'm having a migraine, and then if I'm having a migraine and I'm able to tolerate, even being awake, I will have this one because I don't have to look at it to knit on it. And the yarn and needles are big enough that I can just feel my way.
Right.
Without dropping all the stitches. Okay, your turn. Oh, wait, I have one more. You're right. So in my, I don't think I worked on this one very much. I worked on it for sure, but I didn't work on it much. In my Velveteen Rabbit bag by Little Skein in the Big Wool. I'm pretty sure it's Little Skein in the Big Wool. I always want to say it the other way around.
Little wool and the big skein?
No, I always want to say big skein and a little wool.
Oh, right.
So these are my Bullfinch socks. It's another West Yorkshire Spinner sock. It's the Jemima Socks by K.F. Jones. And
I have to answer Dan's email. He was so sweet to get to me quickly.
Yeah, this didn't get a ton of work on it, but this did get some work.
Very pretty.
And this one has the red orangey color as the heels and toes, and I am using it as heels and toes for this.
I think I like the other one better.
The owl one?
Yeah.
The pattern itself or the yarn?
The yarn.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one has a little bit more of a pop.
Yeah, I just don't like the colors as much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like them.
But you prefer the other?
I prefer the other one.
I really want to try Blue Tits sometime.
Yeah,
because
I
that
know.
one is really pretty.
That's really pretty. It was really, when we first started using West Yorkshire Spinner, it was almost impossible to get it.
Well, if Dan mentions the yarn over and over again, it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
And that color, and it is a pretty colorway
It is.
too. I mean, I think it's like blues and yellows, and it was a nice, bright, happy one. So I'm not shocked that one sold out.
Trying to see why I'm all tangled up here.
So yeah, that one just got a little bit of work.
I'm going to have to do this later. It's all tangled. Let me just clip this stitch so I don't, and by clip it I mean put a locking stitch marker in it so I don't lose my stitch. Not that it's going to be a problem for me to regain it, but I don't feel like having to lose a whole bunch of stitches.
Mm-hmm.
I have to see why I'm all caught up, because I thought I cut the other yarn. Let's see. I'll figure it out later. Figure it out tomorrow. Okay, that in there. All right, my next one. Let's see. Write that down. Is in my Mama C Large Owls bag. And this is the bag end wrap project from the Burrow Wrap by K.F. Jones. And I'm using dragonfly fibers and some other things for this. And I'm still, I worked a couple, 3-4 rows on this, but I'm still not ready to change colors yet. So it's basically, I'm kind of in the middle of a row here. Basically what you saw me have last time, I think. It's a little bit bigger. I'm not sure what color this is, but I don't have the ball band anymore.
You got lost.
I don't know what it might be Marigold Jen. I'm not sure what this is. Although,
Well, we said it definitely doesn't look like a Miss Babs. It doesn't
No.
have the right tone.
I mean, it could be dragonfly fibers, but I don't think so. Some stash yarn that I don't know what it is. So I think it's one of the stash yarns that I don't know what it is. So yeah, and I'm just moving along on this. It's nice. It's like Ty said, when you don't feel like concentrating too much at this point, I can just do this. I just have to make sure what row I'm on.
Right.
Because not that I don't know what I'm doing necessarily, but I don't want to get off count.
I need to put my hoodie back on.
Where's
now.
my-
I'm cold.
There's this. Okay.
So I have to
Oh, that's the problem. Okay. I was wondering why the yarn was coming from the wrong end of it was, the way it was hooked around the needle, it looked like the yarn was coming from here. And I know I'm coming this direction, so that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. Okay, there we go. So next for me is, now it's gonna look like a lot of progress, but it was actually a little bit of progress in some, because it wasn't a lot of actual knitting. So this is Bow Rabbit, the Lapland Rabbit by Mary Jane's Tea Room. And the big part that I did was I did piecing. So his head has been done a while, his ears have been done a while. I just had to stitch his face and
So cute.
attach his head and his ears to the proper places. I have started the arm. Thankfully, Amazon had this colorway for a cheap price because I was going to run out of yarn.
That's kind of a pretty color.
It is. This is the one I used for Davina's Tilly. I'm really in love with it, so I don't mind having more of this. It's Japanese maple, is what it's called.
It almost looks like an adobe or something. It's
Yeah,
very
they call it
pretty.
Japanese maple. Because I had the color lot number. So, or the color and weight number, or whatever. Because lot number, I guess, is something different. Die lots. But this isn't the die lot number, it was the color weight number. So, not very much left. I just wasn't sure I'd have enough for both arms. And I don't feel like it. I'm not very far along. And I need to make sure I leave enough, thank you, to seam it.
Right.
And I just didn't want to figure out too late that I didn't have it.
Right.
And he didn't want one arm that looked different than the other.
He didn't want to be unique.
Well, if I had planned it, it would have been different, but it would absolutely look like I just ran out of yarn.
Right.
So,
He's adorable.
yep, he needs clothes as well as arms. He just is walking around with his winter boots and his leg warmers, and the rest of his body's freezing.
He's got fur.
Well, there must be something wrong with his fur since he feels the need to dress up for winter.
Maybe he just likes to dress for winter.
Maybe he does.
And maybe it's, it's not winter yet, so maybe he's okay right now.
Just trying to reposition things. Well, he can sit on top of the bag. I think I'll do that instead. Instead of smushing him in. Because he's been sitting on my desk as a reminder that I need to work on his other body parts. And he's small enough that he can do that.
He's cute. So cute. All right, let me just stop this here. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you haven't seen in a while. Because it just took me a while to get my brain in gear to say, this isn't that difficult a thing. You make these things, things like this all the time. Just figure it out. So I sat down and figured it out. Just close this up. All right. In my Ploverbird sheep bag is my Baby Leonardo the Ninja Turtle project. Okay, and this was a hat pattern that I found, and I adjusted it because for some reason it didn't occur to me that putting buttons, safety eyes, in a hat
Would be a bad idea.
would not be a good idea. Might not be comfortable or something. I mean, who wouldn't want those things poking in your head, right? I mean, so I'm adjusting it to make a little toy.
I want to make, and I need to look it up, I know there's patterns for them, like a little pin cushion, because one thing that this pattern suggested, and thankfully I happen to have them, is those round-headed pins. Instead of taking your locking stitch markers and pinning the pieces into place, using the pins, and I found it more effective.
Probably because
it actually holds it more flush.
Well, you can also do a better job of weaving in and out with the pin.
Yeah.
So this is, you can see that I'm, okay, first of all, let me show you what I was talking about. I can't imagine why they wouldn't want this rubbing against their head. Okay? So anyway, this is Leonardo. You can see by the blue mask. And I am just closing up the bottom. When I get a little closer, I'll put the stuffing in. And then I'll see what I'm going to do about the feet. I probably might use Biddy's feet. And make either 2 or 4 of them. We'll see what happens. So yeah, this is making progress. I couldn't bring myself to just get rid of it. So yeah, so Leonardo is on his way to being made, and it's kind of fun because it's like making a toy, and actually it's kind of easing me back into that. Because I love making toys, but I have not wanted to do it. I've got 3 of Talia's patterns that I love. I've got 2 of her biddies, 2 of her biddies, and a Tara on the hook, and her pom puppy, which is like a pom thing.
Right.
And I just don't feel like doing it. And I love her toys. So this is easing me back into that. Hopefully by the toy along, I'll feel like making them again.
Right.
So, Laura, I'm working on a turtle. Hope I get credit for that after saying I liked your bunny.
You only get credit if you put it in somewhere.
Well, I meant for,
Oh, like
being on the right
side.
being on the right side, right?
I need to take a picture of, not this one because this one's not done yet, but
The
other one is done. Even if she doesn't have her clothes do not make, the clothes do not make the bunny.
No, the clothes is a different project.
Yes.
Because you can make clothes. You could have had her for 6 months even and make clothes. That's a different project.
Right, and she can have multiple outfits and blah, blah, blah. I need to take a picture of her because she's done. But.
Okay.
And honestly, since the clothes can be removed from him, I'll probably do the same thing for him because it'll take a while probably to do his clothes too. Okay, so not quite as long as for the Knitables one though, because she's a bigger bunny. Okay, so my next project that I want to show is in my Kissing Bunnies bag. It's a Plover Bird sweater size bag. It was the last bag I got from her. She didn't have the sweater size very long, but when I saw this, and it was a sweater size, I had picked it up actually in spite of the fact that it was pink. I'm not much of a pink girl. It's actually not a bad pink though. It's more of a rose. And it had bunnies on it. So what's in here is the Knitables Nurse. So this is the beginning of the nurse dress for my Knitables bunny. She's going to have multiple outfits because I'm a nerd. But I grossly underestimated how big her clothes would be. And I know it's gonna fit because I use the exact same brand of yarn that I did for knitting the bunny herself. I'm using Lion brand Heartland I used it for Lion brand Heartland for the bunny itself and for her outfit. So I know this will fit her. It's just she's a big bunny and her clothes are going to be taking a little while.
Whose clothes?
My bunny's clothes.
Oh, okay. Alright. I think I'm cool enough to wear the shawl now.
The color is... Now this is an acrylic that doesn't feel bad on your hands. It almost feels like a wool. I thought it had the colorway name on it. Oh, there it is. Glacier Bay.
There we go. There. Okay, that's better. Alright, my next one, if you're done.
I am done.
Okay. Silver Shed TMT bag. Now, for those of you who have been asking about the bags, I have contacted Anne. I'm just waiting to hear back from her. So, I'll let you know as soon as I have some information.
Right.
Okay. This is my Arwen's Hooded Cowl project from the Thorns Hooded Cowl pattern by Efanora. And I worked a little bit on this. This is fun. You just kind of go round and round, and the fabric is much more pleasing now. I was worried that it was going to be just too light or too...
Right.
It felt like it was not substantial enough.
Well, that always happens at the beginning of this. And then as you go along, it seems to like somehow magically grow heavier.
Right. It's really nice. You can see that I'm in the pattern. It's got a certain pattern to it. There are 4 different patterns for this. Versions of it, yeah. And so I really like working on this. I don't really have a whole lot to say. This is what it looks like.
One of the versions.
I'm not going to do the thing hanging, the tassel, whatever you want to call it, braided tassel.
The funny is, I initially, for my first one, I put the tassel on and I decided I didn't like it. I think I put a tassel on. Maybe it was something else. I put a tassel on, decided I didn't like it.
Well, this is a very long tassel. It's
probably was a different project. I did that too.
I just decided, it almost looks like it's just a string. I thought at first it was braided, but if you look close at it, it looks like just a string, like yarn kind of maybe threaded through a stitch and then the tassel added.
Or maybe an I-cord.
Could be an I-cord. Doesn't look strong enough, but it could be. And it pulls.
Oh, that's different.
I think I would like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But this is a really nice pattern. I'm not a big tassel or fringe person. I kind of like it to be clean, if you will, clean in quotes. What am I doing here?
I don't know what you're doing.
Knitting. Okay. I didn't know if I was knitting or purling. So yeah, and this is Miss Babs in the blue slate colorway, which I really, really like this color. And this is something that if I don't think I'm going to wear it, I might give to Davina because she will wear it. And this is close enough to the Quicksilver kind of colorway that she'll use it.
Yes.
Is that the one I'm doing?
I don't know if you're doing the expanded hood.
I wanted to if it's for me.
Right. This is expanded hood version. And and she tells you the beginning of the instructions, how to make the hood expanded when you get to that point. But otherwise, no, this isn't even the same version. This one is version 3.
That's what I was asking.
This is version 3.
Yeah, I'm doing version 2. There are 4 versions. She really
I
gives
did
you
all 4 versions.
She gives you a lot of options, which is nice. You can pick what you like, or if you want to have a repertoire, if you will, of it, you can do so.
I'm so sorry.
That's that.
So next is in my Silverthread USA Nurse's Caps on Pail field bag. This one only got a bit of work on it. This is the Cuddly Owl sweater.
Yay.
And it is the Jenny's Cardigan by Mary Chiba? I think it's Chiba.
How's it spelled?
Chiba. And I know that's normally a ch sound, but I know sometimes you'll see people who do a sh sound.
And it could even be a k.
Could even be a k, yeah. I wouldn't think it'd be Kiba. It's a bit of an odd sound.
I don't know. I don't know what the name is. I don't know what nationality it is.
But regardless, this comes from the unofficial Harry Potter's knits that was put out by not Knitsing, Interweave Knits. Multiple years ago. And I'm in the middle of a row, which I'll finish as soon as I'm done showing. But I mean, it's just ribbing.
It's
so
pretty.
It's not
I like
anything
that.
exciting.
I'm happy with the way that colorway is working out.
I really like the way it's working out. I think this is going to be a really nice sweater for you. I think this was a good choice. It won't be like super loud, but it'll definitely scream owl at the same time.
I had to figure out, it took me a long time. The reason she didn't start on this earlier is because she had to get something done, but also I had to figure out what color I was going to dye it up.
I actually wasn't waiting to get something done. I was waiting merely for the yarn.
Oh, were you? Mm-hmm. Okay. It took me a while to figure out what color I wanted to do for it, which is why I did yours first.
Right. And mine, for the Thorns Cow that I have on the needles, it's quite a bit darker because it was a bigger skein, so Mom had more dye stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know. I made a mistake in my proportions, so hers is a variant. This is actually the real color, which I really like. It's very soothing color. I mean,
it is.
It's just.
It is. It's just going to feel comforting and comfortable. It's not scratchy.
Maybe alpaca better not be scratchy, unless you're allergic, right?
Well, I'm sure it's more than scratchy if you're allergic.
I'm sorry?
I'm sure it's more than a scratchiness if you're allergic.
I think it depends on your level of allergy. If you have something like, what's her name? Caffeinated Gert.
Yeah.
When she had
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, that
she was hospitalized.
Yeah, it sent her to the ER. I don't know if she was actually hospitalized, but sent her to the ER. That's not fun.
Yeah.
It's sad because now she likes alpaca. She had that wonderful gift.
Yeah.
That prize that she won. Okay, I guess it's me, right?
It is you.
Let me see here. Let me put this here. I do like this color. It's just very pretty. Blue slate. Okay, so let me put this away. Okay, my next one. Oops. Yeah, okay. It's funny. I don't have any more tea. You didn't take a drink.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
What's the thing here? I'm trying to figure out. Just give me just a second here. Bro. If I don't write down what I've done, I don't remember from like 5 minutes ago. So let me see here. R1. All right, my next one is the Mad Hatter. Cal, and this is in my Silvershed USA Teenage... No, it's not. It's in my Silvershed USA Green Star Wars bag. It's one of my early bags from her. And this is very bright. And it's fun. It's a Sorabelle, so of course it's fun. Where's my hook? There it is. The colors... Let me see. It comes out really... true to color on the small camera, where you can see what you look like, but on the big screen, it doesn't look right. I'm
It'll
assuming.
look fine for them.
Yeah, this is very bright. It's got fuchsias and neon, like pops of neon orange and blue, green. It's really a nice, kind of fun thing to work on because it's got all the happy colors. I wish Davina wore these kind of things, but then again, I'm going to keep it probably because I'll put it on with something black.
Right.
And it'll be a nice pop of color.
Without being overwhelming.
Yeah, either with my coat or a black outfit, and then I can just, use it as a fashion scarf as opposed to a winter scarf if I want to. So, Rena, be on the lookout for your package. I sent it out a couple days ago for the scarf that you wanted for you took off my hands. I'm so happy that she wants it. But anyway, yeah, that's just it. This is just a one skein type of project, and I don't finish the whole skein. It's already really long when I do it and don't finish the skein. I can't imagine finishing the skein for this. The scarf would probably go down to my feet or something because it's quite long. But I like it. I'm having fun with it.
Okay, just putting this in. This is the Cuddly Owl sweater. I got a new notebook pulled from my old notebooks, a new notebook because I finished up my project journal this morning.
Okay, that's cool.
So I was just happy finished with the Saturday. Literally went to the last page. This is the Ginny's cardigan. Alright.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
This is really soft.
It
sweater
is.
that Talia's working on for me, it's very soft. That baby alpaca is just really nice. I bet that would make a really nice warm blanket, but it would be a waste, I think, to use for a blanket.
And it would be very heavy and would stretch.
Mm-hmm, it would stretch. Well, heavy would be okay if you're, in a very cold place.
What I mean is, by heavy, I mean heavy on the stitches.
Oh, right.
I'm not talking about the weight of the sweater. The blanket itself. Alpaca itself is lightweight, but if it has that big of a project, it might be a bit much for the alpaca to hold all that weight by itself, unless it's knit double with something that's a little bit more sturdy.
Something with nylon in it or something. I know that kind of reminds me of that project I made with that really fuzzy yarn, the blanket, and I finally just took it all out because it just was so misshapen because it stretched so much.
Right. Well, some of the nice things about yarns that are soft is also some of the things that works against it is that they don't hold their shape. That's part of what makes them so nice and soft.
They drape.
I
mean, it's just, that's why you have to know, I guess, what kind of yarn for what project. You have to have an idea of what would work best for given types of yarn.
Right. Did you show something, or is it my turn?
Yeah, I just showed this one.
Okay.
Right? I mean, you didn't show anything after this.
I don't think so. Oops,
yeah.
I went knit instead of purl. There we go. Alrighty. So next for me, finish that in a second, is in my Silver Shed USA Kitties in the News bag. And
What?
Oh no, I get shop notifications and medicine reminders. No big deal. I'm not looking at for time or anything to freak out about. I was actually trying to be subtle. You always catch me when I'm trying to be subtle.
You don't do it very well.
Well, I can't. It's really hard not. Just ignore me when I check it.
It's not nice to ignore people. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a new news story.
Well, you said you probably went through them all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the one that we haven't done in a while.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll do this guy. We'll, I guess, go with this, So we're going to do, actually, we'll start over on this side and we'll go across. So today's news for our, it's the evening news for the Chronicle. Cat's Eye View, editorial by Martin Kuhn. It's about time someone let the cat out of the bag. We are not toys to be toted with your lipstick and car keys. These bags are darned uncomfortable. Although we admit to looking cute tucked amid your other personal effects, We insist on enough room to swing a cat, and that's that. So, and the picture doesn't go with this. It's just an editorial. I think maybe the picture where it says that a cat is a masterpiece of nature, maybe. No, that's related to a different story. So he doesn't have a picture with his editorial.
Grumpy cats don't get pictures with their editorials.
So Martin wants to stay anonymous in his face. Just want to share that. So in here is my Lake of Shining Waters. This is my other alpaca sweater.
Very pretty.
And
it's not quite as soft. It is soft, but it's not quite as soft as the other.
well, yeah, it's just a slight. I'm not
Does that have some nylon in it?
Mm-mm.
No.
These are both baby alpacas.
Because I had that same yarn in my other sweater.
I think this is also heavier weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because this is DK. It's a true DK. This is a light DK because you compare it, it is a little bit lighter.
Not much.
But it's a little bit lighter.
Maybe.
And also I'm working at I had to go up a needle size for this, so it's a little bit loftier.
Right.
Versus this where I went with exactly what was in the pattern. Because that's what I got gauge on. So I'm still working my way around the ribbing. I'm probably about 2.5 inches in, and I want to go 5 inches.
Very nice.
And then I'll have the sleeves
Cool.
to do. So we're building, but it's going to take a while. When you have a full sweater of ribbing to do, it's not just something you would sit down and finish.
A full sweater of ribbing?
Well, I'm going all the way around the sweater.
Gotcha.
There's not an edge of the sweater that's not covered by the ribbing.
Right. It's going to be pretty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be really pretty, and it's a really nice sweater to have.
That's
and
Joanna Johnson, right?
Yes. So yes, that did get some work on. Probably about a row or two, because that's usually all I get done at a time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess that's my turn. Let me find my thing here. All right, let's see what my next one is. I didn't realize I'd worked on that. Okay, hold on.
It might have been something you worked on during the podcast.
I had a doctor appointment this week, so I probably worked on it then.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't remember what I brought with me. I didn't get a lot of work done when I went to the doctor's, but...
Well, they took you pretty quickly, didn't they?
Okay. In my Silver Shade USA blue PHN Faces bag.
My experience is that the time you wait is almost directly correlates with how many projects you bring to
do.
Yes, to amuse yourself, to employ yourself. If you bring enough to last you like several hours, they'll take you right away.
Yep. Yeah, I found that as well. The only time,
except for my specialist.
the only time I can be guaranteed that kind of thing is if I'm taking somebody else and I'm waiting for them. Although not always. If I'm going in with Davina, like for her whatever, I have to be in there with her.
Yeah.
But if
you go for my specialist, that's like that's a full day affair.
Or if I go to the dental appointment for Davina, then I have to sit, for about half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is it takes for them to do it. So, and we go for her, I'll be there. I take multiple projects. Although I don't go there very much anymore. My husband doesn't like me to go out until this thing settles down with COVID too much. I mean, I do go out, but not just a whole lot.
Right, where my doctor is, it's kind of an area that was a hot spot. So,
okay, so this is Talia's shawl. This is Anastasia's Tale Scrap Shawl pattern. And this is called, the project is called By Special Request. So she asked me to make her another one. So in a different color. So here we go.
Right, because I have the warm colors that I'm wearing right now. So she's got the cool colors that she's putting together. So
I do like the way it's turning out. This looks nice.
Well, it's like you almost have to wait until all the colors start playing together.
Yeah. I wasn't sure how the bright blue was going to
well, and it's going to be even better when you add in the other color.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about it, but I wanted to put a pop. I put a pop in that one. And, because like Crystal's was much more subtle. but yours is quite.
There's not quite as much of a pop in this one. They're all fairly dark.
Yeah, but that gold is a little bit of a pop. This one's more.
Yes.
But I can do this. This project is like my Sorabelle. It's one of my go-tos, and I can just now I don't change it like I do the Sorabelle. I haven't quite figured out how to do that. I have some ideas, but I have to do some research first. So right now I'm just happy to do this pattern multiple times.
Right.
I really enjoy this pattern, and you know I do knit and I do loom knit and all that, but crochet is where I really like to. I like to focus if my hands will allow me to. I just like to do
What's
it.
your first love?
And the crochet projects are not so dated as they used to be. I mean, it's not just like, and I know people like the granny squares, but I'm talking about when you go back in the 60s and 70s and you look at the magazines.
Well, some of the 60s and 70s crochet stuff are hideous.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think they realize what you can do with it. So,
No, I think crochet really, it's fairly recently come into its own. I still prefer knit fabric, but that's just personal preference. I can see that they've come a long way.
so yeah, that takes care of that. And I'm using mostly Miss Babs, although this here is a Mad Tosh, this green here, speckled, that's a Mad Tosh here, the top. So,
Yes, it is, because I have at least a skein or two left of that.
which is good because I might need it to tie in. some more
Because
stuff.
that came from, as I've said many times before, it came from a grab bag that I received from Mad Tosh.
Because I might need that, like I said, to tie in. Well, after I use the one that you want me to use, I might need that to tie in the shawl.
Okay.
So that takes
All
care of
right. Let me go ahead and clip this because that's all I really wanted to do for this. I wanted to get to the end of the row. And it allowed me to count this rather than I mark it. Oh, I did end up putting my extra yarn in a Ziploc because this yarn does felt on itself easily in a way that actually my other alpaca does not. So
There's got to be something different.
it's a little bit different. It's a little, I think it's not as well, it might not be as tightly plied.
yeah.
I think that might be what it is because maybe it's just a, maybe instead of 3 strands, it's like 2 strands.
Is it a single ply? I don't think it's a single
No,
ply.
it's not. You can see where it's been plied.
Yeah.
But I think it might only be a 2 ply. In which case, yeah, it was like there's only 2 plies there. That explains it. It's going to be a lot more likely to felt, and it's going to be a lot softer because it's just not got as many plies to make it more stable.
Right.
I'm not sure how many plies are on my other one. It's over there, so I'm not getting up to get it.
Are you done?
I'm guessing that's what it is. No, I was just showing that.
Oh, okay.
The actual
right.
project is this one. And then I have 2 projects left, including this one.
Okay.
How many do you?
3.
Oh, I miscounted.
3? Yeah, I think I have 3.
Oh, I only should have gone once instead of twice.
That's okay. I can go twice once.
Just trying to see, yeah, because I showed this one. So,
I think I have 2 more. Let's see. No, let me see. I did them in 1, 2.
do you have an extra bags holding yarn or something?
1, 2. No, I have 3.
That's weird. Okay, so in my gonna make sure that maybe there's another project I don't know about. Nope. Okay.
I'm wondering if I forgot to put my last project on.
Oh, okay. In my Silver Shed USA books bag, this is I call this Lady Susan, and it is the cozy reading sock pattern by K.F. Jones. It's a Patreon Knitters University pattern, or Knitty U pattern, and this is I made it through all the tutorials so far. I'm working down the leg. It's gonna look kind of odd because of the way the
It's really pretty. I like the way the colors match.
and it's a different heel, which is kind of cool. The way that heel's built.
Kay is very innovative and talented.
So, this is Courtly Love, and I'm actually getting used to. It's probably never gonna be my favorite feel, but I'm getting used to the knot bobble things, knotty bobble things. But I really enjoy knitting the sock, so I'm kind of like I want to make myself be able to tolerate this because I also really like her heel on this, and
It's going to be a fun sock.
Yeah, it is a fun sock. It works up really quickly.
So it's a DK sock?
Which makes, I have 2 DK sock patterns of hers. This one, and then the choose your own house socks pattern.
Were they both new to you?
No, the other one was an actual purchase. It was part of the Harry Potter set that she had for a while, but she did make it available for people to purchase singly.
I think I purchased it. I tend to purchase her patterns, even though I'll probably never do a sock.
Well, I think you tend to purchase them, especially if they might be DK.
Because I have always in the back of my head, maybe. Ha ha ha. Probably won't happen. It's just not my thing.
Well, I think you like the idea at the very least.
Well, I like the idea of a lot of things. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Right.
You know, just, that's what I have you for.
Taken for granted.
Yeah.
And this red is Miss Babs. I think the Court of Love might be superwash, but, well, so is Miss Babs. They don't have nylon, that's what it is. Neither of them have nylon, but since these are house socks, it's not a big deal. Plus, I now know how to darn. So, and I have a whole little darning set.
With a little egg and everything.
It's slightly different than an egg shape. It's a mushroom.
Oh, right.
And it has all the different colors you could possibly need for darning. The different darning threads. So, next time I need to darn something, I can do it.
Okay, that's cool. Let me get to a place where I can...
So, no more dumping socks.
Yay.
But that's another reason why I might not continue any of my crocheted slippers. Just save that yarn for something else, because honestly, I didn't buy the slipper patterns anyway. But I'm just wearing my crochet stitches. I'm snapping the stitches just by wear and tear. And it's a lot harder to darn that than it is to just make a bunch of knit socks. If I really want to, put the anti-skid on them.
Right.
And then darn them. Just make sure I don't put the anti-skid where I might need to darn.
I think this is the one I cut, and that's why I keep getting the yarn tangled on the other
Well,
one.
make like a little,
Yeah, I have to get a little thingy bob or butterfly thing or whatever.
Oh, well, you could just do it the way I do.
Well, I'm not really worried about this one so much because I did cut it.
Oh, the other one.
The other one is just... I mean,
I do cut my cast on, and I did for something though do a cable cast on because Kay had me doing for a different thing, so I just did a cable cast on for a different project. Maybe I did for this one. I think I did the cable cast on for this one. What's nice about that is you don't have to plan ahead of time.
Right.
You just have to be like, okay, I want this much of a tail, and you put your knot there, and then you cable cast on, and it's probably once you know how to do it, it's simplest.
I need to
You waste a
game
lot
this
of
one up. I need to cake this one up because I need to use it. All right, it's my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Let's see.
Go back in there.
All right, my next one is in my Emma Owl's bag from Emma. Thank you, Emma. This came from across the big pond from her.
Little bag in the big pond.
Yes, a little bag over the big pond. I like this bag. It makes me happy. This is my Mint Surprise baby blanket from the Cerebelle scarf pattern. Big surprise there, right? There's my hook. And I did some progress on this. I'm looking around the church. Who can I give these to? I think I'm going to go. We had a lady at the church. She passed away a few years ago, really nice lady. But she used to give little packages, if you will, little bags, big bags with blankets and things like that for new babies.
Well, maybe if you just start building a collection, have a box or something.
That's what I was thinking. But then I have to be careful because my hands aren't as cooperative as they used to be, and I want to give some to the pregnancy center too.
Right.
So,
well, maybe you do like in every other thing.
Yeah. So anyway, this is growing. I like this color for a baby blanket.
It is nice.
It's restful and it's nice, and it could be a boy or a girl. So, yeah. So it's basically just a Cerebelle pattern that I've expanded to make the blanket. So yeah, and this yarn is funny. It almost feels like it's going to catch on itself, but it's an acrylic, so I'm not really sure why. it feels that way.
It's probably not a thick ply. Or
Yeah, I don't think you.
it might be loose ply. Oh, you know what?
It's acrylic.
I want to take a look though. You could.
I don't think you ply acrylic.
I guess you're right. No, it's just ply.
Okay.
Look.
Yeah, I see it. Don't mess with it. Yeah, but it's I think it'll be a nice, comfortable little blanket for a child or baby. So, and I have to see if I'm going to have enough of this yarn to finish it, or if I'm going to have to break into the other skein. If I don't have to break into the other skein, I can either start another one or maybe give that as a prize or something, or to someone who. I have this much yarn left, and this is how big the blanket is so far. So, I might be able to. I might do a little yarn chicken. We'll see.
You should probably do your second.
Oh, okay. Just give me a second. Why do I do my second now?
Well, because.
Okay, just let me. I was hoping to do a little more on this, but okay.
Well, you could still just have it sitting in your lap.
Do not wish it. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. My next one is okay. This one is new-ish. And I'll explain it to you later. Okay. This is in my Silver Shed USA Black and Blue Star Wars bag. And I guess I might as well just say it because you're going to find out anyway. This was something else, so I frogged it. And now it's a new thing. Okay, so this is my Play It Again scarf. Okay, and it's very, very simple. I just have basically a stockinette with garter around the edges so it doesn't curl. Because I was getting annoyed with the pattern I was trying to do in it. I love the yarn. It doesn't need a pattern. So
Was it the scarf design?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wasn't sure where I was because it's so dark. So, yeah, this is just a very simple, in this color, a man scarf. I have an idea to do things differently with this particular pattern. This obviously I wouldn't put out for any reason. Anybody can do this.
Right.
And it's probably already out there. Anyway, but I started this not too long ago and it just grew. It's a nice meditative kind of knit. I just have to make sure that I pay attention. That's why I have these marked for where the garter edge is. And this, so I know the right side, because I had designated what the right side is as a stitch, and I know where I'm at. So, because apparently I need those kind of things.
Oh, you know what you need.
Yep. And the yarn is James C. Brett. This is a chunky yarn. So, yeah.
Okay, so my final one is in my Knitter's Magic pink and brown bag. I actually did a lot of work on this. So I keep feeling like I have like fiber around my face.
Yeah, I felt that way earlier. I thought it was hair, but it might have been fiber.
But I'm sure to my imagination, it only happens, like, it seems to mostly happen when I'm on the podcast, which is super annoying. So I did a lot of work on this. This is my Canary Song, the Comfort Yourself with Your Music pattern from Little Women Knits by Joanna Johnson. We have a second armhole, people. Yay! So,
Awesome.
armhole 1 and armhole 2.
Perfect.
So that means
that's really
I'm not too terribly far off for finishing the main part of the sweater. And the sleeves aren't very large, so... well, she says you can make them as large as...
What do you mean by large?
They aren't very long.
Okay.
And if you look at the way the person's wearing it, it's in so much more of a shawl. It's like they're almost like token sleeves. They look like they're about here to here. They're kind of a drop sleeve. If you want to make it longer, you can.
Does it have a cuff? I don't remember. Around the sleeve.
It has a, like, half of it is stockinette and half of it is ribbing.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. That's really pretty. Joanna Johnson's very talented.
Yes, this will probably be finished before the blue one because there's more going on with the blue one. This one doesn't have any picket stitches except for around, sleeves. It will basically be done when the sleeves are done.
Very nice.
So, yeah, this one's very close. I look forward to having this one.
It'd be nice to see where to church or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then once this is done, I'll put aside the yellow yarn for its Thorin's cowl. And the one that I had reed skeined and washed, it was in use for part of the time. We'll probably have to break into it to finish the sweater. Mm-hmm. I needed it for a certain part, but it's been perfect since I washed it. No like crinklies, you can't even tell in here. So, yay, it was a great way to reclaim that yarn.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm happy with the progress on this. This has been my main. When I've had any focus, I've wanted to work on this.
Okay, this next one is a brand new project. This is in my Silver Shed USA Fun in the Woman Cave blue bag. And this is the Sherwood baby sweater. And Talia will say you were further than that when I...
No, I would have no idea how far you were.
This is a crocheted sweater. I showed it to you last week when I showed you this book.
Because I was actively starting my armhole when you were doing that.
I had about 3 or 4 inches, and I determined that I needed more reference points. The way this starts out, it starts you right in pattern on the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was very confusing and I couldn't see what I was doing. So I decided to put a row of single crochet across that top, and it'll give me a little tiny bit more fabric, and also gives me a better idea of where I'm stitching. And then as I did the first row, this is a lot of stitch marks. You can say, wow, that's a pain in the neck. But it allows me to see where I'm working,
mm-hmm.
because the stitch pattern wants you to skip and do a certain stitch. And if I can't, with this yarn the way it is, it's really hard
mm-hmm.
to tell, because it's a single crochet and a certain amount of chains, it's hard to see where the chain is.
Right.
So I marked it. So I'm hoping that will be helpful and I can go ahead and do this pattern.
You probably could have done foundation single crochet as well.
I don't like foundation
well, I'm just
single
saying.
crochet. It was just fine to do it that way. And I'll revisit that. I have done it.
I think it was Shannon who had a video on how to do it that really clicked for me.
Well, I have a couple of his classes, and I also have his course book,
right.
So I can look in there and see. But yeah, so this is. It was about maybe about this. See where my finger is up here? It was about that thick, and I tried pulling it back and going from there, but I kept having the same issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said I'm going to start over again. So yeah. We'll see if I make any progress or if I decide to rip it out. And the yarn is Miss Babs. I don't know what the colorway is, but it reminds me of Sherwood Forest. And what I've done is for this to help me also is I used a bigger hook to hook to chain,
mm-hmm.
and then I used the
smaller
hook for.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say to do that, but I like doing it that way for this particular pattern. Sometimes it's just easier to make sure you can see where the holes are.
Yeah.
And I'm not, this pattern, I haven't gone very far into it, but I think it assumes things.
Well, what level does it give you?
It gives you intermediate.
That explains why.
And so I said, okay, I have to be very careful when I'm reading this. I can do an intermediate or maybe even a almost advanced pattern for crochet, but I do need my instructions to be clear. If I can follow the instructions, I can do it in crochet pretty much. If the instructions aren't clear, it can be beginner and I won't be able to do it.
Right.
Unless, of course, with my experience level, I can figure it out. So that takes care of that. That's my last one.
All right. So I don't have any FOs.
I don't either. I had another one that I pulled out that I don't have with me. I pulled out the preemie hat. Like I said, I pulled it out last week on the podcast. And then you saw the On the Garden Path scarf that became, what do I call it? Play It Again scarf. Okay.
Graphic novel?
Graphic novel. I don't have it. I was hoping I would, but I don't.
And I do have a little bit of beads and string. Okay. One of them is in the mail, so can't show it because it was an order. I also made, because someone had ordered one of the little flying novenas. I made one for myself. It's got a Mother Teresa medal on the end and this really pretty centerpiece.
I'm sorry if you hear extraneous noise. My husband's out of his art room, and he and Davina are talking. So,
and then okay. Anyway, we have our light on. It doesn't usually make any difference. So I have to get all the loose ends taken care of, but I have finished my stations.
oh, nice.
Calling it a rosary is a kind of a misnomer. It's more
not
like a
rosary.
chaplet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Stations of the Cross chaplet. So,
I don't even call it anything. They just call it Stations of the Cross. But yeah. Oh, that's nice and sturdy.
and then I've got this really special crucifix on the bottom with Mary and John at the cross, and it's got all the different Jesus falling and being put in the sepulchre, all the steps to his involved with his suffering, crucifixion, death, resurrection. Now this one, I'm going to make another one with a forest green for my grandmother, because in the back is each of the stations in Spanish, and Spanish is her first language. This other one is going to be for my grandfather, although I will put a listing in the shop so people can order their own if they want to, because I have extras. I had to snag a different centerpiece because this one didn't come with a centerpiece, so I grabbed the Pieta, which works really well with these other ones that are a little bit more bold, and they just have the number in the back. And it'll be the same crucifix as the other one, and you can see it's the stainless steel beads. This is a new cord color, this is graphite.
I like that cord color.
So, it'll get the point across without being like super pretty and feminine for him. So, I just separate the stations so I make sure that they're facing the right direction.
Right.
So,
If you hear any noise, my husband's going outside, so our alarm is doing its thing.
but yeah, that's what I worked on.
Okay. What now?
Usually we go on to any sort of stash enhancements. I had tea, but some of it's here, the rest of it is not.
Yeah, I have tea. I also have a couple of patterns that I bought, but I can't download them. If I don't have them by the time the podcast is over, I'm going to have to get in touch with the people I bought them from.
So the Cuddle Time tea, I just had refilled this, and I got some more of my, it was the, I think mint after dinner tea, chocolate hazelnut dessert tea, and the white chocolate peppermint tea.
And on that same order, I got Stargazer Caramel Mott. So that's that.
And then, of course, I mentioned this one earlier. This was the Cuddle Time herbal tea.
And I may have put in another order.
It's been a while since I've done one, but I was almost completely out of Cuddle Time.
Yeah.
And I usually try to keep that one in stock.
All right. Do you have any shop news?
Look, I'm really hoping to get the Christmas stocking out for testing soon. I know I keep saying that, but I'm so close. I just need to buckle down.
Okay, I did put in the shop. I put creamsicles up in the shop now. I have 3 skeins of that. It's a limited edition set because it was yarn that was, when I bought some other yarn, they gave me the wrong yarn and they let me keep it. So it's in the shop. It's a fingering sock weight, and I have 3 skeins of it. I think it's 3 skeins of it in the shop. And I also reskeined this yarn, which I realize I now have to rename because I already had this colorway name. But this is how it turned out when I reskeined it. It's very autumnal. And I know I keep saying I'm going to dye yarn, and I hope to be doing that relatively quickly. Well, not relatively quickly, relatively soon. So I can put more stuff in the shop. It's been very difficult as long as I'm in this class. I get completely wiped out. I spend the morning, our class is on Monday, and it's Monday night. So after that class, I spend Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday. I spend the morning doing what I have to do, and by the time I hit afternoon, where I might have some free time because my husband's downstairs in the gym or whatever, I'm too tired. I just zonk out. So I haven't had a chance to really put together things so I could think about it. I am going to start doing some fall yarns and some Halloweenish kind of colors. I'm not a big Halloween fan, but I know a lot of people like that. So, and I do like some of the fun kind of things that we can do. So if you have some Halloween colors that like Halloween and fall yarns, if you have any requests, let me know, and I'll see if that's doable. And also what bases. Right now, it seems that people really like fingering sock, although I do have a couple of diehards who really like my DK, and I appreciate that as well. So let me know what you want, fall, autumn kind of colors. Even if you want something summer or bright, that's fine. Just let me know, and if I can redo it for you, I will. And I hope to get this one up in the shop as soon as I can figure out the exact name for it and take pictures. I do have non-rescanned pictures, but I don't have the rescanned pictures up yet.
Okay, so that usually leads us on to did stash enhancement. Is that reading already? Reading, writing?
Yeah.
I kept meaning to get writing done, but it just didn't happen.
Right. We did a little bit of brainstorming, but not a whole lot of anything else.
Yeah.
And my reading is basically been the same. I have religious reading and I have my non-religious reading. But to be honest, when I'm on the treadmill right now, I've been listening to Hollow a lot. Hallow a lot. And it takes up most of my time on the treadmill. So I haven't been reading as much as I'd like.
I'm just bringing up my show notes because I did do some reading. It started like midweek, I want to say, because Sunday I had a migraine, so that did knock me out for at least a day.
Oh, you find that? I'll see if I have been reading. We did do the Divine Office for Dodos this week.
We must have done it on
Monday or Tuesday, and then I did
Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Abandonment to Divine Providence and The Listening Eye by Patricia Wentworth. I did a lot of reading for that.
So the ones I finished were St. Padre Pio in the Footsteps of St. Francis. My dad suggested this one. It was on sale, and after I finished reading the book, I'm like, oh, that was good. I really got a lot out of that. After I finished it, I happened to notice the author's name, and I went to college with the author. We had friends in common, and we did do some things together. So it was kind of amusing to realize, oh, hey, I just read a book of someone that I used to know. Random. So I have a couple of his other books I'm going to read as well.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them. I have the Padre Pio one, but I don't want to start with that one.
Yeah. Mother Teresa and the one on David and the Psalms.
David and the Psalms. I think I want to start with David and the Psalms.
I think I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to now.
I'm not sure, but I'm reading one of Mother Teresa right now already. So
Right. I reread, because I read it, most Agatha Christie's I've read at some point, particularly if they're Poirot's. So the Big Four was a reread for me. But it wasn't, I didn't like it as much as I remember liking it. I think at the time, I think I just finished listening to that one. Yeah. That's the one. It's a little bit more melodramatic. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more spy-y.
Yeah, that's the one with the one from France and the one from
America.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really not the normal Poirot mystery, and I didn't enjoy it as much this time around. I
enjoyed listening to it, but then Hugh Fraser reads really well.
I just found it to be more melodramatic than most of her other ones. After a while, I was like, they got captured again? Mm-hmm. Really?
Every single time.
Like, this is Poirot here. She doesn't usually do that. That was actually an early one for her. Mm-hmm. I reread Murder on the Orient Express, another one I've read before. I actually liked it a lot better this time.
I haven't read that one yet.
I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. And it's well written when you already know what the ending is, and you still are enjoying every step of the way. Right. So really enjoyed that. And then I read 2 Agatha Christie's I hadn't read before. One was a Poirot, one wasn't. The Poirot was Dead Man's Folly. which I mentioned with Ariadne Oliver. I hadn't thought there were any Ariadne Oliver ones I hadn't read. I was mistaken.
I love her.
And then Crooked House, which is one of her, standalone novels with completely different characters. And it was just really enjoyable and well written. It kept me guessing the entire time.
See, there's one I stopped reading. I stopped listening to because Poirot wasn't in it. I don't think it was some other character, and I didn't like the premise. I wish I could remember what the name of it was. The guy runs off the road, and he stops at a house, and there's a murder there. And for whatever reason, he's deciding that if that lady did the murder, he's going to help her still to cover it up.
Is it Peril at End? No, is it Towards Zero?
Maybe? I don't know.
Because I actually really enjoyed that one. It's not a Poirot one. It's actually a superintendent battle.
No. I haven't reached any...
You don't to begin with. His nephew brings him into it.
Let me see if I can find it.
It might be easier to read than to listen to, because that's actually one of my favorites.
I don't think this is a superintendent battle. They haven't gotten to the cop yet. To the cops, the police.
And actually, the book starts with superintendent battle. So.
No. Let me see if I can find it here. If I can remember what I didn't like the premise, and I couldn't get into it. It's just let me see if I can find it here. My phone is being extremely slow. Sometimes we have spotty.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here. Probably not going to show me now because I want to look. Unexpected Guest, I think it was.
Oh, I haven't. That was one of her ones that was a play. That was, I believe, made into a novel by someone else. So I actually haven't read that one because I don't prefer those.
Well, let me just see if it gives a synopsis. If it gives a synopsis, I'll be able to tell you. Because it didn't feel like an Agatha Christie. And it's not going to tell me.
Well, yes, it does it this way. Usually.
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually own that one. I'll see if my Kindle gives me a description, because I haven't read it even though I own it, because it was a screenplay originally, because she had multiple plots that she did, particularly a Poirot, that were screenplays, but then someone else wrote them into novels. Yeah. And I don't like those as much because a lot of times they get the voice wrong.
I don't like the whole concept of this guy. I don't understand why this random person who broke down, and he goes to the first house he sees to get help or whatever, to make a phone call.
Get help?
Get help, yeah. We're not doing Get Help. Reference. But he goes to get help. The guy, if I remember correctly, he's wheelchair bound.
Okay, so let's see.
And he, for whatever reason...
Yeah, here we go. When a stranger runs his car into a ditch in dense fog in South Wales and makes his way to an isolated house, he discovers a woman standing over the dead body of her wheelchair-bound husband, gun in her hand. She admits to murder, and the unexpected guest offers to help her concoct a cover story. But is it possible that Laura Warwick did not commit the murder after all? If so, who is she shielding? The house seems full of possible suspects. Yes, I have not read this one. This was originally a screenplay. Yeah, here we go. As he did with Black Coffee, Osborne has taken one of Creasy's original play scripts and turned it into a slight novel. So that's why I didn't like... I only got like a few paragraphs into Black Coffee, and I just was like, no, I can't read this.
I let it go, thinking, okay, they're going to call the police, they're going to get somebody in here, they're going to do something to make... I just couldn't get into the plot. I didn't like the characters. Why are they doing this? I didn't like it.
Yet you were able to last through Hollow, which you spend it feels like chapters on that jerk of a man who ends up, the husband.
Yeah, but I'd seen The Hollow, so I knew what was going on. But also the fact is there were other people interspersed.
Mm-hmm. But it was hard.
It was hard when it was him.
Yeah.
But I liked some of the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand the motivation for these characters. I don't feel
Osborne does a very good and I might be alone, is I don't feel like he does a particularly good job of capturing Christie's voice, and I think her voice is very important when writing these characters.
Well,
And that's hard to do that with someone else's voice.
it is, and like I said, there was nobody I expected to see there. It didn't feel like a Christie novel to me. I just didn't.
Well, it might have been.
And maybe
A, it was a screenplay. B, she might have been starting to dabble a little bit, kind of like the feel of some of her Mary Westmacoffs, which I've not been able to finish because I disliked so heartily the characters in the first book.
Right, but my point is, when you know it's not going to be that, something like that, you know it's going to be something like that, you can just say, okay, let's see, and you can. I gave this a chance. I said, okay, somebody's got to show up. Maybe this is not a Poirot. Who's going to show up? Is it going to be Miss Marple? Is it going to be Battle? Who is it going to be? Nobody.
Well, sometimes it's not. Like in Crooked House, basically you have the cops who are on the scene and you have your new main character. Now, it's not like Murder is Easy where the guy's a moron.
Right.
And you're just like the entire time like, how does he find his head with both of his hands? I mean, I think he'd have trouble doing that. He's just so dumb.
Well, I like I said, it's not even that. I can handle a dumb person. There's no I don't know, there's no motive I can find. There's nothing, there's not a reason. And so it feels like I'm wasting my time, and I don't like
I wonder
them.
if it would be better reading it than to listen to.
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't like the person. I don't like the characters. I don't, maybe I need to give it another chance, but I just couldn't understand the motivation. She kept saying, why are you doing this, and blah, and he never gave a satisfactory reason in my head, why he was doing that. Was she going to blackmail her later on? I mean, what's the deal?
Well, I think it's very hard when you take something from a play because you don't have the inner thoughts that Christie had in mind when she put these characters together, which a lot of times is very important. The narrator voice is very important for giving you an idea, for contextualizing those characters. And if all he had was a screenplay to work with, he might have felt like his hands were tied.
Maybe. I mean, and I like her screenplays. I witness the shows I like to watch. But
that's not her screenplays. But
there's screenplays for them.
Yeah, but these were plays that she herself wrote during her lifetime, so we don't have her contextualizing notes.
Well, anyway, that's my take on that. Let's move forward because I have things to do.
Okay. I do want to mention I am reading one other one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I went ahead and I started reading where's my notes? There it is. It got me out my notes while we were talking about the book. So when I start reading Agatha Christie's, I read them one after another. So I started a Caribbean mystery by Agatha Christie, and that's a Miss Marple. So she was kind of bullied to take a vacation for her health by her nephew to the Caribbean. She would have preferred to stay in I think it's called St. Mary Mead. Pretty sure
I think
the name
it's
of her
right,
town. So just started that, and it's interesting so far. And then I started North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is a classic book. I understand from people who read classics that if you like Jane Austen, you might like Elizabeth Gaskell because she has a lot of the same social commentary of the time type of thing within the story. Haven't gotten terribly far. I'm trying to get used to her a little bit because her stuff, I have to remind myself I'm not reading Austen. This is a completely different authoress. So, and it's a thick book, so it's going to take me a while. But I have several of hers that are in the wings because, cheap classics. Classics are awesome that way.
Okay, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was something I was going to say to you guys, but I don't remember. Oh, yeah, we have a, don't we have a live Zoom coming up?
That's on the last Friday of the month.
Last Friday?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the last Friday and the second Friday.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not until next week then.
Yeah, I'm just checking first now because I also have to make sure that...
Because I think September 1st is Monday or Sunday.
Let me see. So, the last Friday of the month is the 28th.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's Saturday. Sorry. The last Friday of the month is the 27th.
27th.
So that is this coming Friday.
Okay.
Because today's the 21st. And, there's I'm probably to move my confession unless my doctor sees me, online. Because, that's my migraine doctor on that day.
Right.
But that doesn't affect them. So, yeah. This coming Friday, we have a Zoom.
For Patreons. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that takes care of that. I don't think we really have any life stuff, and we do have to get moving. So
no, because honestly, it's been so thunderstormy and stuff. That,
yeah.
Life stuff ends up being like sleeping randomly.
Right. But we want to wish you all a very blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, and whatever it is that makes your heart happy. And before we leave, we want to thank the people who commented that I saw. We want to thank Stephanie, Looney Hiker, Kara, Brittany, and LNS Crafts, and anybody else who commented that we didn't see either on YouTube or on the Patreon. PHN. And like I said, we wish you a very blessed week full of everything that makes you happy and a wonderful weekend. And we hope to see you next weekend for the Fun of the Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, really episode 468. And that's a wrap.
Bye.